I'm Jonathan Fields, coming to you from my crusty old chair with another jam session for Good Life Project. So I'm actually going to read today's question. This comes from an awesome person. I actually never asked her if I could share her name, so I'm not going to, but it's a great question. So here's what it said, and this is somebody who had watched our conversation with Danielle Laporte, and it brought up a really interesting thing for her. She said, you prefer to just do the work with your clients and make a difference in their lives. You're both out there. You're doing the thing we're all told we're supposed to do, and we follow you as role models. In writing my first book, but spending far more time being out there networking and on social media. I'd love to find a way to go back to the days when a painter could paint, a writer could write, a coach would sit down with the client, look them in the eye, and they would talk. You're someone who could lead us back to our craft, to stop doing what we're all buying into by spending our money and time on being out there. I like people, in person. My world would be smaller, I'd make less money, but it would be real. Please consider this as a future topic. Let's talk about this, because this is a question I get a lot. So I'm a writer, I'm an artist, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a producer, I do all sorts of different stuff. I create something from nothing all the time. I love being in my cave. Straight up, plain and simple. I'm also an introvert. Not hardcore, but all the different things that I've taken, fairly introverted. So I like being away from people. I speak, I love being on stage for an hour. When I'm done, I want to run away and walk alone next to a beach or an ocean or something like that. So why do I actually then go out and do all this other stuff? Because the world is changing. Now you can rail against that or you can roll with it. And here's what I'm talking about. 10, 20, 30 years ago, we lived in a system where largely artists needed to move through a very linear process to go out there into the world and to earn a living, to turn their art into their vocation and be compensated at a level that allows you to be comfortable in the world. There was a path, there was a system of gatekeepers that allowed that would take you from A to B. And there weren't a whole lot of ways to get around that system. Flash forward, we're filming this at the end of 2013. The world has changed in a profound way in only the last 5 years. That system of gatekeepers for everybody is still out there, but they're losing power by the second. So what does that mean? That means that for those who are inclined to go out and become not just a craft person, not just an artist, but an enterprise, the world of possibility is astonishing right now. The power no longer resides in gatekeepers who give you access to those who would be interested in your work. The power resides in you if you choose to take that power. So I can go out into the world, I can start a blog, I can leverage social media, I can put on my own shows, I can build my own companies, my own audiences. I can do all of this myself through my own labor, through my own relationships, with very little money, just a bunch of sweat equity. So what does that give me if I do it? Well, that gives me the opportunity to build a large, engaged community that connects with me, with my why, with me as a person, with my process, with my craft, and with my art, with what I'm putting out into the world, with my message, with what I write, with what I produce. And I build that community over time so that when I have something to share with them, when I have a problem I can solve in a particular way, then they come to me and I can go direct to them and we can create the exchange. Or if there is somebody else who can become a third party who then becomes part of the monetization of my livelihood, who can benefit everybody, I can engage that way. The thing is, this is all empowered by my willingness to not just live in a cave full time, to not just devote myself 100% to the craft, but to obsess over the craft, but then at the same time spend a discrete, smallish chunk of time understanding that if I also work on the side to become not just an artist, not just an entrepreneur, not just a brand or a personal brand, but an enterprise, I take the power back from the gatekeepers. So is it worth it for me to do that in my work, in the way that I want to run my life, because I want the optimal amount of control that I have over my ability to do the work I love to do and to earn what I need to be comfortable in the world? It's worth it for me. I can't make that call for you. I can't make that call for anybody else. There are people that will be far happier living hand to mouth or making far less of an income, but being able to focus 100% on the craft. I live in New York City, I need to take care of a family, and I like to live a good life. That doesn't mean a crazy partying life, but I like to be okay in the world and know that to the extent that there's some illusion of security, I'm creating that for my family. That means I need to earn a certain amount of money. So I'm more than willing to invest a small amount of time in building the enterprise around my art so that I have control over the ability to do more of the art that I want to do in the way that I want to do it for as long as I want to do it. So that's the way that I make this decision. Of course, always, I'm curious to hear how you would make the decision. So please feel free to share this wherever you see it, and then to share how you would explore this same conversation. I'm Jonathan Fields with another jam session, signing off from my crusty old chair at Good Life Project.